Hi everyone, I'm Jessica, your fave Asian drama fangirl. So today's video is going to be a little bit different from my usual review style, but in my opinion, an important one because how can you even trust my reviews if you don't even know the type of dramas that I like? Now, I only have about 150 Asian dramas under my belt, with honestly a majority of them being romance, but here's the list of my top fave dramas. And for my US friends, these are all dramas that you can legally watch on Viki. Not sponsored, by the way. Maybe one day. I'll be going into detail about the main plotline for each one, as well as my reasoning for why it's a fave throughout this video, so definitely keep on watching if you want to know more. I couldn't rank them even if I wanted to, and I'm a big numbers girly, so according to my watch history, a majority of the dramas that I have watched have been Jdramas, followed by Kdramas, and then finally C-dramas, so I'm going to go in this order, followed by the year of release. Starting off with the Japanese dramas, which actually got me into Asian dramas to begin with, first up is Hana Dango, also known as Boys Over Flowers. Now, I'm sure my fellow Asian drama fans out there are familiar with at least one variation of this drama. It is a classic and probably one of the first widely popularized rich male lead, poor female lead stories out there outside of Cinderella itself. Despite their class differences, the female lead is spunky and isn't afraid of or in love with the male lead, so he falls in love with her heavy. The story was adapted from the manga of the same name and has been made into live-action adaptations or dramas all across Asia. Now, even though this wasn't the first live-action adaptation, this will always be, to me, the best and OG version, and I will not be taking counter arguments. Thank you so much. Like, look at the material!
最悪。お前かい。偶然な地獄の学園まで送ってってやる。俺。やめてよ。あれ以来いつだ。なんだとてめえ。待てこら。日曜、恵比寿ガーデンプレイス時計広場1時。
The Japanese version just had the perfect portrayal of the characters that just makes them so lovable, and their chemistry was on 10, so much so that they're still being shipped to this day. Y'all, it is 20 years later. That's crazy. It was absolutely deserving of the 2 seasons and a movie, and it will always hold a very special place in my heart. If anyone can find the Saturn necklace that Domyoji gave Makino in the drama, please let me know. I've been trying to find one for years. Moving on to the next Japanese drama on my top faves list is Hana no Kimi Tachie, or Hana Kimi. This is one of the first, if not the first, gender bender drama that I watched. Basically, the female lead hides herself in the all-boys school that the male lead attends because he got injured when he was trying to save her, and he's an athlete, and she wants to get him back to competing again.
私は彼に会うために女を捨てて男子校に入ったんだ。ダメ。
Similar to Hana Dango, this is one of those stories that was widely popular that got adapted into multiple dramas across Asia. However, unlike with Hana Dango, I didn't even try to watch the other adaptations, so I don't know about all those other ones. This drama just embodies the charm that Japanese dramas had back then. This was also one of my first tastes of second male lead syndrome because he was ready to risk it all, even if that meant he was gay. Which, like, obviously isn't a big deal now, but like, at the time it seemed to be a little bit more controversial.
女物なんだこの高ぶるテンションは。そっか、間違いない。俺はホモじゃない。
And those are my 2 Japanese dramas. Now, you're perhaps like,
Jess, these are so old.
but honestly, for the longest time, Japanese dramas were just like so hard to find and honestly inaccessible. However, with the way that streaming is globalizing things, slowly but surely, it's getting a little bit easier to find Japanese dramas on streaming platforms such as Viki or Netflix. I'm always keeping an eye out for new modern day dramas on these platforms, but kind of sadly haven't found one that has really caught my interest enough to put it on my top faves list. But who knows, maybe something in the next few years will blow me away. Okay, now let's move into the K-dramas, which are arguably the most popular popular Asian dramas out there, especially here in the US. The first one on my list is Goblin. This is a fantasy drama about our male lead, a goblin who is immortal and saves the life of the female lead, effectively making her his bride. Being his bride means that she's the only one who can help him die, but also subsequently becomes the only person who he lets into his heart.
집에 가자.
어떤 집이에요?
내가 사는 집. 너 도깨비 신부니까.
It was huge at the time of its release, and as of today, it's still the 7th highest rated drama in Korean cable television history. Strangely enough, it's probably one of the most hate it or love it dramas out there, and from what I've read, it's mostly due to the age gap. The goblin is forever a 39-year-old, and he meets the female lead when she's 19. So she does age, but he doesn't. But that's basically where the issue comes into play.
나 붙잡은 거야 지금?
더 낫겠다. 뜨거워. 파랗길래 차가운 줄 알았어요.
본디 파란불 온도가 제일 높다 문과생. 이럴 시간에 공부 좀 해.
That aside though, I don't know, I was just like so invested when I was watching this drama. Probably because it was my first encounter in an Asian drama with this sort of like supernatural storyline. But I especially remember sobbing super hard at the scene where the goblin disappeared. Like actually sobbing for like an extended period of time, not even just while I was watching it. And they had a budget. It was extremely cinematic. The wardrobes, the OST, acting, all 10s. Plus, Gongyu is so handsome. And of course, we can't forget about the bromance between him and the Grim Reaper.
전화를 하라는 얘기인 걸까? 우리가 핸드폰 없는 거 알고 무시하는 거 아닐까? 진짜?
자, 그럼 일단 플레이스토어부터 갑니다.
지금?
네?
왜 이러나? 플레이스토어 가자며. 뭐라? 뭐야 어디 거?
In true fangirl nature, of course I had to get the plushie. Its hood even comes off properly. That's how you know you got a good one.
Okay.
Alright, moving on to the next drama on my list, I have Fight for My Way. So basically, our male lead and female lead are childhood friends that have always had this sort of like bickering relationship and are now in adulthood just trying to figure out what they want to do in life. They eventually start working towards their dreams, all the while falling in love with one another.
꼴통은 맞는데 허접은 아니야.
뭐?
넌 될 놈이야. 난 알아.
다들 날 쫄로 만들고 싶지.
나도 하고 싶다 진짜. 너는 왜 안 되냐?
Firstly, I just loved how realistic the background and portrayal of the main characters was. They were just like average people who were like,
yo, life kinda sucks. Let's do something about it.
even then, things didn't always go their way, but at least they had one another to support each other. This is my favorite friends to lovers drama with absolutely undeniable chemistry. Like the level of comfort being portrayed, like not even from just a physical perspective, but just like how they acted around each other was so good.
자기는 얼른 가서 버리고.
자기라고 하지 마. 죽는다 진짜.
알았어 자기. 고마워.
와, 저 기집애 좀 뻔뻔한 거 봐 저거.
이렇게 예쁘냐?
예쁜 척 하지 마라. 나 빈속이다.
나 예쁜 척하면 재수없지. 근데 나도 진짜 곤란하다. 나는 예쁜 척하는 게 아니라 그냥 예쁘게 태어난 건데.
나 여자 칠 수 있다.
Park Seo-joon was giving athlete, so in other words, he was hot. And of course, Kim Ji-won is such a good actress. I loved it. I love this drama so much. Alright, next on my K-drama list is True Beauty. The female lead gets bullied for her looks, so she transfers schools and starts wearing hella makeup, which I guess makes her unrecognizable and super beautiful. Before all of that though, she befriends the male lead who's like cold, but handsome and kind of a loner. And then in comes also the second male lead who used to be besties with the male lead, who now is also taking an interest in our female lead.
이거 무려 20년 된 희귀템이다. 내가 득템한 건데 특별히 너한테 줄게. 무려 내 비밀을 함께 공유한 친구인데 챙겨줘야지. 난 조지훈, 박도준 부모. 와, 나 머리 깨질 뻔. 고맙다.
나무 휠까봐 막아준 거거든? 와, 완전 짱돌이네.
뭐 짱돌?
Basically, it's a high school romance that touches on themes of self-worth and confidence, but really the biggest thing is the love triangle.
너 뭐냐?
넌 뭐 하는 건데?
This is one of the few dramas where it has an actual viable second male lead. Like, he's handsome, he's lovable, he's kind-hearted, and he has a good relationship with the female lead. But truly, this drama will give you the worst second male lead syndrome ever.
좋아하는 애가 있는데 마음 접으려고.
왜? 고백은 했어?
아니,
고백도 안 해보고 접어?
남자친구 있어.
아, 왜 하필 또 남자친구 있는 애냐? 많이 좋아해?
많이.
어떡해. 그럼 확 뺏어봐.
그럴까?
얘 누군데? 우리 학교야?
몰라. 비밀.
I feel like I've read a lot of people say that this drama is overrated, but truly I do not care. I loved this show so much. All three of the leads especially had like amazing chemistry with one another. Also, Han So-jun deserves the world. Love him. Okay, and the last K-drama on my list is actually one that recently came out. Lovely Runner. It's crazy that I'm putting this on my list, and it might be my recency bias, but honestly, this drama has me in such a chokehold that it has to be here. Now, I'm not going to go into detail about this one because I have a review video coming out soon, but I'm just going to link it here and you can watch it if you'd like. All that to say, I love this one so much, and I know many people out there also loved it, so.
너 자꾸 나 마취 시킬 거야? I love you so much.
Lastly, for C-dramas, I only have one on my list, but I am trying to broaden my horizons in this space. I only started watching C-dramas in the last 5 years or so I'm still kind of new to the scene, but definitely always open to recommendations. So the C-drama I have in my top faves list is The Romance of Tiger and Rose. This is an isekai drama wherein our female lead, who is a screenwriter, gets transported into the world of the historical drama she's written, but as a side character. Basically this like third princess who everybody hates. She tries to escape the world by getting the two main leads together, but consequently ends up becoming a lead herself.
这个梦好眼熟啊！我写的，我卡在自己写的剧本里了。
The storyline was super unique for this one, and I loved the world building. It touches on tones of feminism and gender equality, which was really interesting to me, especially given the context that we're talking about royalty here, where patriarchy seems to be more prevalent. The romance was good, but I think the comedy is actually what drew me in for this one.
不要随便打打杀杀的。
我们大公主好善良啊！
善良？你们三公主这招真够损，一下子抓了27只老鼠，累死我了。
那也总比你们家少君他们狠好多了。
我们少君跟你们三公主一个狠，一个损。
哎呸！
子然，走走。
On top of that was the chemistry amongst the entire cast, the acting and use of micro-expressions, and I think also generally that the male lead was a simp, which is probably one of my fave tropes. Alright, that's it for my top faves list. Please do not come for me. This is just my opinion. Like, to be honest, I haven't watched some of these dramas in a while. So I feel like if I were to erase it from my mind and rewatch it again today, like, I don't know if I would necessarily rank it like a 10 out of 10. But they're my favorites because of the emotions they invoked at the time of watching, as well as the nostalgia that I get whenever I watch clips or highlights. And honestly, sometimes it's just like this like unforgettable, undeniable chemistry that like makes a drama linger in my mind. Thank you so much for watching, and please let me know in the comments down below what are some of your favorite dramas that I might have missed. Take care and be safe.